Greetings. You know, there's a number one way to build a better relationship with your prospect and your customer is, guess what? Start educating them. Now you will go with them as a lead, from the position of authority. They will trust you more, and you can actually more build a better, deeper relationships. And of course, that will improve your bottom line somehow. And you don't have to agree with me on this statement. I made a bold statement. You will agree in a moment once you hear my special guest today. Hi, this is Mohammed Siddique. I'm the co-host of Growth Hacking Show. I'm the co-author of New Success Secrets. We want to learn success secrets from our guests on every show. In this episode, you are about to meet co-founder of Thinkific, and he is a serial entrepreneur. He keep reinventing himself from business A to business B to business C, and finally looks like he got it what he wanted in his life, where he learned how to actually build a better relationship with their community. And in fact, let me give you a full disclosure. I am his customer. We have tens of thousands of our students are getting educated using Thinkific platform. That's a bold testimonial right to start with. Before you even say hi, please join me to welcome Greg Smith from Canada.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me on the show.
Welcome. Greg, let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to do that? You built one of the best platforms to start teaching people.
We started Thinkific about 6 years ago, but my journey goes back in online courses way before that. I started out teaching online courses, or teaching in a classroom setting about 2005, 2006, and eventually used that to launch Alpha Score, which was my LSAT course. So I created my own online course. That went well, and I had that kind of as a side project while I went through law school, while I practiced law. And it was quite successful and went well. And eventually other people started reaching out to me, asking me how I was building this online course, how we were doing this, if they could maybe use our software to do it. And at the time, we weren't set up to do that for them. But we heard enough of those people reaching out saying, how are you doing this, that we wanted to go and create a platform that made it easy for people like you to go and create your own online courses or membership sites or educate your customers or potential customers. So it was really doing it myself first, realizing a lot of the problems that we struggled with in doing it, and then having others reach out to us and say, how have you figured it out? How are you teaching others? Can we use your software? And then we built Thinkific to make it easy for anyone to create and sell their own online courses and memberships.
No, that is great. So your experience of being an educator from the start, really, that's your passionate. So you really expanded and built a great business now. And I see the very, very impressive numbers on the site. I showed it to all the audience who are watching this right now. So based on your experience, what are the top 3 success secrets someone can use to grow their business?
Success secrets, I mean, for me, a lot of it comes down to people and how you work with people. So for one of us, one thing here we've really focused on at Thinkific is building an amazing culture, both internally and how we interact with people externally. So caring really deeply about people and their personal successes, whether that's employees, customers, or even people you partner with. I find the more you care about someone's individual successes and the things they're looking to accomplish, the more you build a better business relationship and work well with them. So the amazing culture piece is something that's really fundamentally important to us here, and that really works well from a business success secret perspective. A second one is we hire using a process called top grading. There's a good book called Who by a guy named G.H. Smart, I think. And so we use that process on the hiring. It's a little bit, we kind of tweak it and make it our own, and we add some things to it. But the key is having a really refined scientific hiring process that doesn't revolve around gut feel and getting a sufficient number of candidates into any role you're filling. And that I use that now, whether I'm hiring a nanny to help at home, or we are or you're hiring like just a VA for a little bit of help online, anything that you're doing where you're bringing someone into your life. I've even used it in putting a tenant into our apartment. It's a great process, and will save you a ton of pain in the future of figuring out the people who are a good fit to work with you and you're a good fit to work with them. And then the last one, for us is being radically candid. So in anyone I work with, whether it's an employment relationship or a partner relationship or a customer relationship, we're quite open and candid and honest, and don't hold back in terms of sharing when things are working or are not working. And I find just having that open stream of communication makes all of the relationships so much better. So you can see all of this really, for me, comes down to one central theme of people and working well with people.
Yeah, amazing culture. Have used the proven hiring process and be authentic.
Yep.
Don't make up anything. Is that right? When it doesn't work, just accept it.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a good book on the candid side, which it's actually called Radical Candor, and so using some of the principles in there to have that direct conversation. It kind of comes down to the idea that, and the simple way of explaining it is, you want the friend when you have spinach in your teeth who's going to say, "Hey, you've got spinach in your teeth. I don't want you walking out into the world. I'm the one who's going to tell you that."
Yeah, great. That's a great analogy. And beside having these, that's your success secrets. And I'm sure there are some challenges too. So what are the top 3 missteps to avoid to grow your business?
Well, one of them ties back to the people front, and that I think a lot of people, we made some of these mistakes earlier on, but is really not focusing on how you're hiring from the early days. Sometimes you make mistakes around hiring what you can afford, or for the position you can afford, or not making sure that you have a good early working relationship. So really investing right out of the gate in hiring properly right at the very, very start. And making sure that you set those people up for success early on. Next one is actually being a little too scared in the early days, often, to invest in your business financially. I know it's a good thing to be fiscally conservative, and I'm certainly, especially in starting something new, very conservative financially. But there does come a few points early on when you need to invest in the right tools or the right marketing efforts or the right people or the right things to do to grow your business. I don't believe you should be putting yourself into extreme debt or really financial hardship to do that. But you do have to be able to make those decisions early on, and invest in some of those things, especially the things that can save you time and accelerate your growth. And I find sometimes starting out, people are a little too afraid to spend a little bit of money just to get things going. So that's something to keep in mind is when it is, and for me, it always comes down to ROI analysis. What is the return on this investment going to be? But I do find, especially in early days, people can be a little shy to put a little bit of money into getting things going. And then the last one, and this is something I've struggled with early days. I've kind of gotten over it now. But I see a lot of entrepreneurs starting out struggle with it, is lack of focus, or the shiny object syndrome, where there's always that new idea, that new thing you could be focused on, that next great idea. And I think you really should put all your eggs in one basket. Entrepreneurship is not about diversification. It's not an investment portfolio. If you're the entrepreneur, you need to be fully invested in one project and one project only. Now, you might get to a point where you're like, this is not going to go anywhere, I'm shutting it down, and then I'll look for the next thing. But you don't want to be starting the next thing while you're trying to still work on something. That just is, for me, a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, so either you want to shut it down or you have a nice exit. Many people have the acquisitions and all that stuff. That's also a good happy ending too. So what I would end it, before you move on to the next thing. So great, thank you so much. So Greg, very candid question. As you said, be candid with your guests and with everyone else. I'm a good student. I'm going to apply it right now. How you are growing Thinkific right now?
I mean, a lot of what we get is word of mouth and referrals. So I think that comes down to, we really focus on customer support and customer service. I mean, we have the ability to use Thinkific for free. We do have paid plans, but you can start out and work with it for free. And so then what we do is we use that as a growth channel. So people come, they sign up for free, and we help them. So we have a support team that's there to help them. We go above and beyond there, and that often turns into word of mouth referrals. So our ability to go above and beyond in supporting people who are using us turns into referrals and testimonials, which is a really big growth channel for us. Another one is on the partner side and building a partner network. So this is essentially affiliate marketing at its core, but there's other elements to it. But basically partnering with other businesses and people out there who might have an audience that could send customers your way. And we still do a fair amount of content marketing and a little bit of paid advertising, but those are some of the big areas.
Especially, I noticed that you do retargeting very well.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one of the things that I struggle with when you're starting out early on. But once you figure out that if your conversion is working, so if you can bring visitors and they will convert well, and you understand the metrics of what a visitor to your business or a new prospect to your business will do for you financially, then it becomes easier to spend. Until you know that, it's hard to go and spend on things like retargeting and advertising. But once you know that, then you can start to put more dollars behind that. So that was something we did not do very much of in the early days until we got our metrics settled and we knew what those ad dollars would mean. Because then I knew I spent $100 on ads, I generate 10 visitors, I can turn those 10 visitors into $1,000 in revenue. That ad dollars is justified.
Wonderful. That's amazing. How the growth hacking show community can support you?
Well, for me, it's about supporting you and helping you out. So if you're watching this and you are interested in creating your own online courses or membership sites or growing your business because you have some expertise or passion that you want to share, and that could range from, we work with people who are teaching health and fitness or hula hooping to flying drones to business. We work with the individual solo entrepreneur just starting out through to like large banks and financial institutions. So if you have a business, you have some expertise that is unique to you that you want to get out and share with people and you want to build that, check out Thinkific. You can get started for free and we're happy to help you out with getting your courses off the ground and building a business.
Great. So Greg, as we wrap up, what would you say as a final word?
Final word, I'd say, my core passion is sharing your passion and expertise with others. And that for me is just such an amazing and rewarding way to build a business. But as a final word to entrepreneurs out there, I would say avoid procrastination and perfectionism. If you're thinking of starting something, start it now, launch it now, get it going, act now. I find procrastination and perfectionism are the two biggest things that kind of hold us back as entrepreneurs. So if you're sitting on the fence about doing something, jump in and get started and get something out there. Even don't wait for it to be something that's perfect. Get it out there, get it in front of customers, and you'll learn more from that than from worrying about getting something to perfection. Yeah,
very well said. Do it now. So you go ahead and thinkific.com and start the free process right now. That's what that is. So thank you so much, Greg Smith, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Show community and my entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, wishing you good luck, good sales. I do have our podcast again with another amazing guest. Until then, all best wishes.
Thank you, Mohammed. Appreciate it.